There's a time I talked about midlife crisis, yeah? And I didn't talk about midlife crisis as a crisis. And I said it is actually an awakening. Today I want to talk about why the people who go through midlife crisis are the parentified children. Society has painted midlife crisis as something shallow, like buying a sports car, changing your wardrobe, dating someone younger like a kabaddi, quitting your job impulsively. The stereotype makes it look like recklessness or even immaturity. But for the parentified children, what is actually happening is an awakening. And in many cases, it is the first real test of living for themselves. Here's why. When you grow up as a parentified child, your entire identity is shaped around meeting the needs of others. You don't just help your parents or even siblings. You become the emotional, mental, and even financial support system. Every decision you make is filtered through how will this affect them, instead of what do I truly want. That means you skip key stages of identity development. You grow in responsibility, but you don't grow in selfhood. You choose jobs that keep the family stable, not the ones that light you up. You form relationships based on loyalty and duty, not alignment and joy. You end up suppressing your dreams because they might inconvenience someone. So by the time these individuals hit their 40s, 50s, or even 60s, something shifts. Maybe the loss of a parent, or even maybe their kids leave home. Their kids leave home, or they even retire, which it is for most people. Then suddenly the obligation that shaped their entire life vanishes. And they are left there asking themselves, if I am not living for them anymore, who am I? That's where self-awareness begins. This is the midlife crisis moment. But in reality, it is not a crisis. It is the first real chance at personal freedom. The so-called wild changes, those switching careers, moving cities, traveling, starting a passion project. Those are not acts of rebellion. They are acts of reclamation. For parentified children, midlife crisis can feel both exhilarating and terrifying. And it is exhilarating because they are finally exploring their own desires. While it is terrifying because it feels selfish. We imagine decades of self-sacrifice. You're trying to rewire that into your system, to start choosing you. The tragedy is that society mocks this stage instead of honoring it. But the truth is, this stage is not about falling apart. It is about finally coming together. The midlife crisis is simply what happens when a lifetime of serving others gives way to the deep overdue need to serve yourself. Not from neglect of others, but from finally recognizing that you too, you deserve a life that is yours. My people, heal. Heal.